November of 2020, Kevin Samuels visits Los Angeles. I don't know if it was his first time visiting, but that was when the episode featuring the Average at Best interview was recorded here in Los Angeles. Yes, the full length episode was about November 19th, I believe, of 2020. Yes, around my grandmother's birthday. And I remember watching the episode live. Shortly after that, a portion of that was posted on World Star. That little small clip goes viral. And then he decides to release the 20-minute section, the full 20-minute section, because people were reacting to the small portion. He said, okay, I'm going to put that 20-minute section on my channel. And then the rest was history. He blew up right about December of 2020. Okay. So it was interesting to see his ascension because I had started watching him in June of 2020, shortly after the shutdowns started up. You know, a lot of people were online watching stuff. And at that time, you know, I was looking to do a lot more content on YouTube and just, you know, you watch people do the things that they do, you know, maybe that'll inspire you, get motivation, whatever. You know, you see what's cooking, research. And I'm always intrigued by people who speak on things that are familiar, but they package it in a very unique way. And that's exactly what Kevin Samuels did. He wasn't speaking anything unfamiliar to me. He was speaking things that I already knew, but he repackaged it. So that's that. There's the ascension. I saw the ascension of this man, Kevin Samuels. May he rest in strength. He transitioned in May. And then 2021, I want to say it was early 2021. I was watching Fresh and Fit, and there was a guy on there, Andrew Tate, and he was doing the exact same thing, speaking some truth, speaking ideas of being a man, what that means, and all of the kinds of things that I already understood, already heard of, already, in fact, some things implemented, okay? And it's interesting because I agree with the majority of it. Same thing with Kevin. The majority of it were in sync with my ideas. And so that's 2021. Now you notice Andrew Tate has caught new momentum and everybody's talking about him, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You see the interviews, you see the podcast. We're talking millions of people. And it's almost like Andrew Tate is continuing where Kevin Samuels left off. Funny enough, because if you were to put them both in a room, they would speak a lot on the same things. They probably would agree to a lot of the same things. And so what I think of is there's a gravitation towards authenticity. That's what it is. Authenticity. Because we've been inundated with falsehoods. Yes, a lot, a lot, a lot. Movies, the Disney fantasies, the ideas of romanticism, the rom-coms, romantic comedy movies, you know, they've been out there, right? But the man's view on how he sees that dynamic or the ideas of being a man and all the machinations of such really haven't been articulated the way that they are being right now online within the YouTube space. And so to see this ascension of these two individuals is very compelling. It's very compelling. And even more interesting, you got two guys that are from two different generations doing this, because Kevin Samuels in his 50s, Andrew Tate, age 35. So what would you say? Kevin Samuels was more like Generation X, borderline baby boomer, and Andrew Tate is a millennial. So you could say that this is the last stretch of the pre-Google type of man. The last stretch of the pre-Google type of man. And these type of men are getting notoriety online. They're smashing it. They're killing it right now. Okay, we saw what Kevin Samuels did, and unfortunately that was cut short. And now Andrew Tate, here we go. Same thing. You look at a lot of their videos speaking to the same thing. They're doing it in a very firm way. All right. Now, of course, for some people, it's difficult to digest because of the tone and the delivery. And you'll hear this all the time. Whenever something comes at you straight, you know, it's like, I've never heard this before. I've never heard it expressed this way. So it throws you off. But when you take away those initial reactions, Most cases, it's yeah, 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 that's true. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, on both sides, men and women. Yeah, yeah. And you can see it. A lot more people on YouTube are starting to kind of speak to the things that they were speaking of, or Kevin rather. And now Andrew Tate, you'll see the dissecting of all of the points that he's making, and nothing new yet again. But you think of the generation that they come from. This is pre-internet stuff that they're speaking to. This is the kind of thing that made men what they were for over thousands of years. And it's only in modern times that the puppeteers have tried to intentionally shift and remove that from our lexicon, change our speech, change how we relate, remove the things that build families, remove the things, create singles, essentially. There's no more family anything. No, no, no. Family, no, 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 no. We want to create singles. We want to create single people who are doing single things and they are working for us. There it is. So now what these guys talk about are the very things that have existed throughout the history of, right? So there's a gravitation to it because who else is talking about it? And there's an intrinsic interest in it because on an innate deep level, you know, yeah, this is it. This is it because this other thing doesn't necessarily work, doesn't produce families, doesn't really produce a flow. It's a system that's broken. Yeah, this system doesn't work. It no longer has any service to me. Yeah, this system is broken. It's just no. It's this thing that these guys are talking about that's nothing new. They just so happen to be packaging it in the way that they are. And now I want to listen and watch because this sounds like something that actually does work, but there are puppeteers who have been conditioning me to think that it's the wrong thing to do or the wrong way to think. Authenticity. Authenticity. There is a gravitation towards authentic people who are allowed to speak their mind. You know, you can agree or disagree. Truth is truth. Truth doesn't bend. Truth is not loopy. You know, it's not. Truth doesn't do that. Truth is very straight. Truth is very consistent. There's no break. You'll hear it the same way every single time. That's how you know truth. It's the same way every single time, the same way. So when you pay attention to a Kevin Samuels, it's the same thing every single time. Boom, boom, boom. And now everybody's going crazy over Andrew Tate. It's the same thing every single time. Boom, boom, boom. Because truth doesn't bend or break. Truth is consistent. It's very direct. Truth sometimes hurts, doesn't it? It cuts, but it's very consistent. And that's the respect that you give to truth, isn't it? Yeah. Now, again, I'm not one who puts people on pedestals. What I do is I look at it, I observe it, and I say, ooh, that's interesting. Ah, okay. And it makes sense. It's nothing new. It makes sense that this would be elevated because we're living in a time where truth is being shh. So, of course, if we're living in a time where that's happening, of course, a Kevin Samuels would blow up. Of course, an Andrew Tate would do what he's doing right now and have the impact that he's having. Yeah. And there are many others that are experiencing it as well. But there's going to be a demand for this because the culture has groomed men who are the opposite of that. A long time. Grooming men to be soft, grooming men to be fragile, grooming men to be incompetent, grooming men to be feminine. There's been the puppeteers have been doing this because they know what's really the deal. These men, Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, yeah, that's what's real. So yeah, let's groom the men to be the opposite of that so that we can control and destroy the structure that has been in place for so long that has been proven to be successful. We're going to just destroy that. How do you destroy it? You condition people to go in the opposite direction and you do it very sly. it's hidden in plain sight. But again, there's a gravitation towards authentic, and that could very well be the game changer.